Hello and welcome to Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel, where I've been doing this kind of thing for about 10 years, try to teach people the things I know about growing things in my backyard here in sunny Central Florida. Now, last couple of years I was wondering what are some things that I could grow in the yard that would be well suited to this environment and produce a heavy yield of things that I could use to feed the family. And one of those things that I came to was the pigeon pea. And if you've seen the video I did last year about how to grow pigeon peas, well, I planted about 16 seeds that a friend of mine gave to me, and they are doing fantastic. And in this video, we're gonna go harvest some of those pigeon peas. I'll show you just how easy they are to store. They pretty much dry on their own. And we'll talk about how I got my pigeon peas, but how you could get some pigeon peas if you wanted to. And also, what are some of the fantastic benefits of this amazing plant? A tree-like legume. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, so I started by planting some pigeon peas over here. In fact, the first pigeon pea I planted was actually a potted plant that I had gotten from a friend, and I planted it right over here. In fact, I planted it right where this tree is right here. And then the pigeon pea plant completely died, and I gave up on it, but I planted a couple more back here, and they also died. The leaves just turned brown. I think it was because I used the uncomposted chicken manure near them, but nonetheless, I also planted them everywhere else. So let's go look on the whole other side of my yard where I planted them near the chicken coop. Actually, the chickens love them. Every morning, those chickens scatter out to go find those pigeon pea flowers, and that's a lot of fun. Now you can see I have a little chicken coop that I built here. There's my sweet little hennies. And right along the edge here, we have pigeon peas. Let's go in and pick some of those. Okay, girls, let me in. I don't want a prison break here. We have a pretty big area we keep our little chickies in, but they would really like to get out into the larger yard and explore, so we have to be careful we don't release the hens. And if you have chickens, you know they love to eat grass. So if you let your chickens free, you will not have grass. Okay, now what you'll see here is a branch that has a full crop of pigeon peas already set and dried. And that's really when I like to pick them. They're already dried and ready to go. I brought a little knife that I use to do this kind of thing with me. I'll leave a link in the description to this thing, but it's a flower cutting knife by Victorinox, and I love it. It's like the best, I don't know, pen knife I've ever gotten. All right, now what I like to do, and what was demonstrated to me, was to simply cut off the branch right there, and that'll promote all these little buds that are at the nodes to grow. And we'll go ahead and repeat that and just cut off anything that we see that is dry and ready to go. So I'll go ahead and get to it. All right, let's see if this is good. Well, I think I might just go ahead and trim this just so it's not hanging down so much. And the cool thing about this plant is that every part of it is edible. So these chickens actually love to eat these little sprouts. They go crazy for it. And that's the cool thing about having a pigeon pea, or really any tree or plant, fruit tree. We have mulberry here too, another good example of things which the hens love. So as they drop, it creates a really cool thing. And if you cut it up for them, they can get access to it. But I can hear the little beak snapping. All right, so it's not hard to start really getting a handful of these cuttings off. You can see they just come off, and you can hear, hopefully you can hear that. It's the shaking of the peas inside the shell. That's really how you know they're totally ripe. And you know, this one's a little green, but I'll pick those anyway. Some of them I like to eat green. You can see, growing in and amongst sugar cane, so it's a little bit crowded in here. This is going to open this up for a lot more available light. Oh, that's a good one. And I'm not too afraid to trim a decent amount of this because I know that it's going to grow back. It's very, very hardy. All right, I'm going to keep looking around. All right. Look at that one. Woo-hoo. Nothing like the harvest. And this is just the first harvest, really. This harvest is going to keep coming in. Now the hens will eat every bit of these pigeon peas, to include the peas. That's why they're swarming around my feet. As the flowers drop off from some of these, they're getting every single one of them. The squirrels also get a little bit of these pigeon peas, but there's still plenty left for us, so I'm not complaining. That's another nice one. Now all of these have been copiously fertilized with rabbit manure and chicken manure, so they are well cared for. All right, let's go take a look at our haul. All right, so take a look at what just a little time, and I haven't even harvested an eighth of what is on those pigeon peas. You can see I've got more back here in the rabbit run, and they're just loaded. This is the kind of crop you can expect from this incredible, beautiful specimen. And keep in mind, every part of it we're going to feed to the hens or feed to ourselves, and I'm going to take some of the seeds and eat them, but I'm going to take also some of them and set them aside to grow. We're going to grow a whole new crop of pigeon peas. I'm going to try them in new locations this year, and we're going to really maximize our yield. This was really an experimental year, and now we are committed and super pleased. Now you can pick them before they're dried like this. I just did because I think it's easiest to just dry them in place, but let's go ahead and open some up. I'll show you what the peas look like inside. Okay, so all of the pods are pretty much dried. Take one off now. These leaves and everything we'll actually just throw in whole once we pick all the seeds off. I guess I should call them peas. You can see that inside there are a series of, these are almost all the way dried. And in fact, when they're like this, they are delicious for eating. They're nice and chewy. In fact, I think I'm going to eat these. I really like the taste of a pigeon pea when it's that exact consistency. For me, this is when they're perfectly ripe. All of the shells, everything goes right back in, chop and drop. And you just set to opening them all up. So to make the process easier, what I'm going to do is put them into a bowl. I've already got here, got some that are very dried now. These are going to be good for planting. But what I'll do is just take all these peas and drop them in here, and then I'll separate out the plant matter and feed it to the chickens, complete the loop, and we'll be ready to plant these. And I'll probably do that in about a week or so, so stay tuned for the videos where we plant these pigeon peas and produce more beauties just like the ones you see here. Okay, well, thanks for watching. In addition, this plant is just a beautiful specimen. Let's take a quick look at some of the flowers and the beautiful detail in the peas. Just as a plant, this is one you would want to have in your backyard, certainly because it is able to be tree formed so easily. I've tree formed all of mine, even high enough that the chickens can't get to them. Believe me, whatever they can get to has been snapped up by their eager beaks. But this has been a great addition to my yard, and one of the reasons is that it looks so good. Look at the beautiful Look at the beautiful detail in those snapdragon-like flowers. See the small pigeon peas coming in. They're actually great for stir frying or eating raw, just like that one. They're that small. It's like a snow pea. Okay, well, thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard. This was an updated video on growing and harvesting pigeon peas. I definitely recommend this as a useful addition to your food forest. It produces lots of high protein food. It produces really over and over and over again. This is just the first crop. And you can expect to be picking these off and eating them as you walk around your yard too, which is nice and fun. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a good one. Get some permaculture going in your life.